Hello,
Hi,
I'm Sarah. I'm the Executive Director of Bloom Academy.
I'm Yamila, the Program Director and co-founder of Bloom Academy.
And this is Patrice. She is our wonderful secretary of our board of directors. Hi,
Hi
Patrice.
there. Hi, how you doing?
We're doing swell. How are you?
Good, thank you. So as you can see, I'm still at work, but it's only because I wanted to make sure with our time difference that we still made this meeting work and
Yeah,
everything.
thank you.
So, oh no, it's fine. And I'm really thrilled to be a new member of the board and learning a lot with what you do. For Bloom Academy, and I would like to learn a little bit more about how you discover the micro educational program, but I just love the work that you're doing. From what I learned, basics is that these are children that, you could correct me, really have some social and emotional issues that can't work in a really standardized everyday classroom. So you bring them in this program, and I think what I see from your Instagram and your videos, you see them thriving, you see them just happy as can be. They're just comfortable in that environment. And that to me is really worthwhile to see. I love that, the fact that you're sharing so much with us too. And I'm learning so much. But I have to say, I don't know how you do it because you're actively teaching and then you're also building the business. You started the business and it's really wonderful.
Thank you. Well, that's why it helps to have like such brilliant people on our board like you, because you've been helping a lot with grant writing, organizing, things like this. And like you and Thelma and Joe all have such specialized areas of interest and knowledge that we don't. And so between all of that, it's just so beneficial for us. It really takes a lot off our plate having you and Joe and Thelma on our board.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure. So yeah.
Well, Patrice, at our last board meeting, you shared something that was really moving and kind of related to our giving campaign, which is coming up. Would you mind sharing that story again?
Sure. I did learn of this model recently through a friend whom I have not been in contact with for many years. But I recently viewed a message that was posted on social media. And this particular person, we go back to grade school when we used to socialize with the same group of friends. We were like two groups of kids from neighborhoods in Hamden that were side by side, but we would meet and hang out once or twice a week. And every one of us got along quite well. There was a lot of good memories and a lot of great laughs. But I was sharing this sort of example of, my friendships or, the traditions that we had in grade school and growing up, and with a colleague at work. I went on to tell her that eventually we lost connection. I opened my mouth and I said, I shared this memory with her. And I said, I wonder what happened to this one individual. And he stood out from the group. And she was like a little cub reporter, and she goes with excitement. She goes, I'm on it. I'm like, she goes, give me his name. I'm going to find him. And I went, oh no. I said, this is a little embarrassing. And soon after, she sent me a link via email, and she suggested that I see this. You have to see this video. Please tell me that you're going to open it. And at first I was really apprehensive. And then I did. And I saw his speech, and I was somewhat taken back by his message. It was very heartfelt. So I just want to tell you a little bit about him. He was a very intelligent person. He still is. And he graduated from Trinity College, which so happens that's where I'm currently working. And he worked his way toward a very successful position in the corporate sector. And however, somewhere early on in his career, he took a pause from the demands of his job to do some self-reflection. And somewhere before returning to work, he created a plan, focusing on his education and at the same time giving back to those less fortunate. I loved hearing that part, and it just drew me to listen closely. And with that definitive plan in mind, he followed a model, which maybe some people know, it's not verbatim, but here it is. He said, well, early in your years of life, you are learning. Then you focus on your earning. And then he later made a dramatic and wonderful change in his life, adding one or few extra features to this model, or another feature called returning. Again, he made time during his career to go back to college, receive a couple of master's degrees. I know he went through after his master's degrees, he went and got a PhD, and then he pursued another degree, which I think is equivalent to a PhD. And he said in his speech, he mentioned that he decided to retire from corporate sector about 2 years ago, with the final path set to use those degrees he earned and give like 200% of his time and his attention to the community and the human services, demonstrating that returning piece of the model. And I said, if I had to take anything out of his speech, that's what I want the people to hear. You don't hear of many individuals using this model early in one's life before they're even facing their retirement, being so generous. I was so inspired by his model and his message that I began thinking and wishing more of us could carry out a similar plan. And if this theory or model were introduced to us early in our careers, I said, what a dramatic effect this could have on our communities, those less fortunate, and the greater good. So I just, I wish I could congratulate him, but I felt the way I could really maybe pay it forward is by reflecting on his commitment and the model of the learning, earning, and returning, that it inspired me to review my time and consider how I would like to give back. And I worked for 15 years in the human services field. And then I said, it's been 10 years since I probably have really done some nonprofit, giving my time to an organization, whether it be monthly, weekly, or what have you. But so I decided too that I'm going to look at this next 2 months and see where I can volunteer my time to the community. And it was where I don't know yet, but it'll be hopefully a worthwhile program in the area. It brings a lot, those 3 words, but the end result is the returning. And really, it would just be great and inspiring to see so many others do the same thing. So, and again, it just brings me to what Bloom is doing, your mission, your vision, and the great work that you're doing for the children that are enrolled in your school. I think it's a wonderful program, and it's just beautiful to see these students just come out of their shells and they can adjust and thrive and receive a really great education. So I don't know if you have anything more to add, but I hope this message gets to a lot of other people.
Thank you.
Final or our upcoming Giving Tuesday.
The campaign, so Giving Tuesday is November 29th. It's a Tuesday, the last Tuesday of November.
Okay.
The start of our giving campaign, which we stretch all through the month of December. So it ends December 31st for us. We are hoping to get some matching donations. We have set 2 goals for the campaign. And so one of them is to raise $10,000, which will go towards our scholarship fund, which will allow children in financial aid to have access to our program. And so we're hoping to find some matching donors who can help encourage more donations and help us reach our goal, because it really is so important to us.
I know, it's great. And
the second goal would be having volunteers come in, reaching out to our community to either go to their businesses, or they can come to us and just share a little bit of their knowledge or skill/gifts.
That's good, but is that a little challenge for the area to find volunteers to come to you?
Not exactly. Sometimes we reach out by social media, which helps a lot. Word of mouth. Also, parents talk to their friends and they come in, and that's how.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And what I saw over the summer, I think it was the early part of the summer, there was a gentleman who taught children how to make homemade pasta.
Yeah.
That was so adorable.
Right. So we just want more opportunities like that. So like oftentimes the process is that the kids will mention something they're interested in to one of us, and then we go on social media or talk to our friends and family do some research to reach out to people who are knowledgeable in that area to bring them in.
Mhm.
And so I guess what we're hoping with this is to be a little bit proactive and have people come to us and say, hey, like this is something really neat that I would love to share and teach the kids.
Oh, that'd be nice. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
And then is that considered a workshop day when you have that type of activity?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That time we did it for a parents' night out, but oftentimes we have workshops like that. He actually came back and did another cooking workshop for Indigenous Day, and he
Mhm.
cooked. I always butcher
That
his
was
name. I don't want to, but
Three Sisters Succotash.
what are they called?
so the
It was
kids
neat.
cooked with him and made the Three Sisters, and they learned all about why they were called the Three Sisters, how they harvest together and they help each other.
You know, I just love the way the kids are getting, the attention. It's much different from a regular classroom style, I think.
Definitely.
I think that's
So-
why it's neat to bring people from the community, because not everyone's going to catch every child and, acknowledge all of them as much as we try. There's always, hopefully not,
These are-
someone there that,
Mhm.
doesn't get the attention that they may want, but maybe for the next volunteer,
Mhm.
that person makes them feel special. So
Yes.
there's always someone connecting with other children. So
Mhm.
again, our community is a big part of the Bloom program.
Right. And the other feature is the respect, because I saw on Instagram again, a student who has, an obvious deformity, and you could see the explanation. I saw it on the board, the definition, and how he felt comfortable, because there was the respect the students are, giving to one another. And that to me can go such a long way, because they're protecting each other.
I
And,
think that's something really cool too about Bloom is the conversations that we're able to have here, because
Mhm.
the world is so diverse and everybody has their uniquenesses and their strengths and their
Mhm.
weaknesses. And I think in conventional school, they're taught to really conform to this one way of doing things. And there's not a
Right.
lot of extra time and wiggle room to have the conversations of,
Mhm.
A deformity a child was born with, or a learning disability, or,
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be that, just any sort of difference that may set you apart, or make you stand out. And I think that's what makes our world kind of like a colder place to live in, is because there's so much that we don't understand because kids weren't given the time and the patience to understand it. Right. And so here we're like, well, no, let's talk about these things because these matter. This is life. And let's learn how to honor
Right.
that in other people and understand it and respect it. And I think that helps kind of prevent that continued ignorance, and it helps create compassion
Mhm.
and understanding.
We have our issues here on campus where people want to protest and they want to do certain sort of message boards, but it can create a lot of friction. But when you kind of have, and you're showing the children how to have a really civilized, that's the word, discussion, it's the way they can bring that home and have it with their siblings.
Right.
We'll let you know how the debate team goes.
Oh, that'll be fun. And there's the comedy too with one night you shared, and I went back and looked at the Instagram, and that young boy, the petite boy, and I can picture it, and how he had to, all right, he had cleanup to do, and instead of leaning over the sink. and
Oh,
cleaning
he's
it-
on the sink.
Oh.
Right.
Mhm.
Whatever it takes, as long as he feels comfortable and confident in his choice and he's getting his job done. Who are
He
we?
could fit in that sink. I mean, he was so
It's incredible. He can also stand on the bathroom sink to clean the mirror. We'll send you that photo.
you described him so it just like I said, all right, now I gotta go see this picture. And you had it still on Instagram. I was laughing. It was really cute. And the fact that you even have the picture of it.
Yeah.
Like, and how is he with his sister going to school? And they're getting along?
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
feel comfortable with each other.
Mhm.
Sometimes it can be challenging to have the siblings here because they don't allow themselves to, be apart or, grow in their own way. But I think at times it's good because then they're able to know, oh, this friendship's coming into my life, so now I need time with this person versus you all the time. So they're just learning
Okay.
those strategies versus all the time just being together. So there's always pros and cons to everything, but for the most part, I'd say it's overall good.
That's
I think
good.
that's natural too. We've talked about like with family members, there's like that automatic like comfortability. So you can see it too, and like they'll practice like strategies for communicating and problem solving with their friends, and then their sibling will say something and they like snap at them and you're just like, what happened?
They lost control of that
Yeah. But I think that
momentum.
just comes with family sometimes.
Yeah. And one other thing was you had, I think, a social worker or a psychologist on for parents was talk to your children, let them feel free to speak, so that if they get used to you asking them to open up, they'll be free to tell you when they're ready, when there's a bad thing that happened, a good thing that happened, something that maybe makes them smile, and that they can learn how to share with their family too. I thought it was so well to the point that you can, it's making sure that you sit at the table and you have, a conversation around each other, and keep them included in the conversation. So I thought that was an excellent piece, and that so many people were running in so many different directions. We forget to have that making that time. So that's like an example of the people that you bring in for the students and for the parents as well. And I hope they feel like they're a part of the organization.
The parents?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're vital because they're other facilitators here, again, the community's big for us. And aside from the community, the parents come in and do workshops. Like Jen just came in here. Jen is one of the parents. She came in here and brought in a bunch of Korean artifacts and clothing and games, and showed it to the culture club, but then also the other kids joined. And so it became like a big kind of workshop that everyone got to join.
That's really wonderful.
Another way that we try, because ideally we would love for Bloom to be free, but because we are still so new, for the families, we are still so new that we do need the membership fees to help support all of our expenses. But one way that we try and keep those costs low are to create like volunteer opportunities with the families, where in exchange for a discounted rate, they can volunteer their time or resources to help us. And so doing workshops like that is so important, because that's such a strong piece of our program. So we definitely try and have the parents as involved as possible. One, because we want them to, and it's important for that consistency for us all to be on the same page for the kids' sake, but also because it just makes our program that much more influential.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. And that's really important too. So you are definitely bright women that took the leap, and you started a really good program. And I think it's awesome, and I'm proud to be with you. So you're still learning more, and but we can still go forward, and we'll see how. Now it's going to be Giving Tuesday coming up at right after Thanksgiving, and right through December. I think we'll see what we can do, and everything. Make some other changes too. So, but you are growing, and you are pretty soon. You're on a shoestring budget, but you do need to expand the program for new space, right? Okay, so that's another project that we have coming forward. So we'll see what we can do to keep up the faith and everything. So, and how do we end our? What do we do? What did we do last week? Yeah, I can never. I was ready to do Spock, and I can't. I'm not.
Oh, yeah, you just think of Spider-Man.
Oh, all right. No, we're not. We're gonna stick with this.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for listening. And I really do appreciate you listening to the story about the learning, the earning, learning, and returning. So, and maybe we'll get the message out, and more people will be a part of that program, that model. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.